Have you ever wondered what might motivate an elderly lady to go bungee jumping? Maybe she's yearning to recapture her youthful spirit, or perhaps she wants to give her great-great-great-grandchildren a heart-stopping moment of surprise. Allow us to introduce Edna, the audacious octogenarian who laughs in the face of gravity and lights up life with a spark that could outshine any young gun. Edna, our unconventional guest on today's episode of Wake Up San Francisco, is not your average granny. She's an adrenaline junkie with a penchant for bungee jumping, asserting that age is just an irrelevant number. To prove her point, she presents a video of her latest daring escapade. The disbelief on the faces of our hosts, Danny and Becky, is palpable as they watch this sprightly senior citizen dive headfirst off a bridge. But Edna's not done. She boldly invites Danny and Becky to accompany her on her next thrill-seeking adventure. Danny, forever the cautious one, politely is captivated by Edna's infectious energy and decides to take a literal leap of buzzes with anticipation. Becky, co-host of a morning show, accepting a bungee jumping challenge on live television. That's an unforgettable moment right there, but not everyone shares the excitement. Danny's face is a comical mix of shock, worry, and disbelieving confusion as he tries to make sense of the unfolding events. But this isn't Granny and a brave TV presenter. This is a heartwarmingly funny tale of pushing limits, surprises, and watching your co-host squirm with nervous confusion. It's about a woman named Edna showing us that age should never be an obstacle to living life to the fullest. And that, folks, is how you keep life exhilarating at 80, by defying gravity off a bridge. And if today's show has taught us anything, it's that life is as unpredictable as an episode of Full House. Life insurance is a necessity, and gravity can indeed be a fickle companion. Introducing Edna, the daredevil granny, who's about to make a leap of faith, because nothing's still young like defying gravity and risking a hip fracture. Now that's what I call living on the edge, literally. 1. Step into the shoes of our chief character, Jesse, a thrill-seeker who's never one to shy away from danger, except when it comes to his wife, Becky. Becky provokes a reaction, daring to take on the most extreme form of risk, bungee jumping. Jesse, however, reacts unexpectedly. Imagine a terrified feline trying to cross a hot tin roof. That's Jesse pacing, fretting, and pulling out all the stops to prevent Becky from taking the plunge. His overzealous safeguarding is as melodramatic as the theatrics in Full House, and it reaffirms an essential fact. No declaration of affection quite matches up to an intense panic attack. 2. Let's take a moment to appreciate the irony of Jesse's predicament. As a man who likely starts his day on the edge, Jesse's overbearing love for Becky creates a humorous paradox. His exaggerated concern for Becky's safety is as overblown as a Full House storyline. Yet the comedy doesn't eclipse the seriousness of their predicament, a tussle of wills between two robust characters over a potentially fatal decision. But with Full House's trademark wit, the tension is skillfully diffused. This is the paradox. The fine line between love and control is as delicate as the boundary between fact and fiction in Full House. 3. Joey intercedes, bringing some sanity to this comedy chaos. He assists Jesse in understanding that his terror isn't really about the bungee jump. It's the idea of losing Becky that escalates his worry, mirroring the surge in Full House's TV viewership. This heartfelt exchange, overflowing with understanding and jest, is a quintessential Full House moment, a mix of profound emotions and chuckles that makes you wonder if Jesse's fear isn't simply about losing Becky, but also acrophobia. 4. As the adage goes, love is invincible, even against the dread of seeing your spouse leap off a bridge. Sometimes love implies allowing your spouse to leap off a bridge, while fastened to a bungee cord, of course. What's the takeaway? That love can be blind, and occasionally, just like Full House, outrageously absurd. In true Full House fashion, Jesse allows Becky to take the jump, overcoming his fear in a plot twist that could only be devised by the ingenious minds at Full House. 1. Our storyline takes an unexpected turn when Jesse, the famed daredevil of our tale, joins our leading lady Becky at the bungee jumping site. He doesn't come to prevent the impending fall, but to join in the thrilling descent. After all, nothing says I'm sorry like a potential joint plummet. 2. Picture this: Jesse, the once hesitant participant, and Becky standing on the precipice of the bungee jumping platform, their hearts thumping with adrenaline and apprehension. They're on the edge of literal as they clasp hands. Jesse initiates the countdown. 3, 2, 1. and together, they take the leap of faith. The sight of our daring duo in free fall, their screams echoing throughout the valley, surpasses any Full House episode. 3. After a moment of calm at the end of their bungee cords, they are suddenly yanked back upward. The pair, trembling with laughter and pure joy, ignite a contagious wave of cheer that spreads over the entire crew. As they're hoisted back to the platform, still laughing, it's clear that they've come out of this challenge stronger and more connected. Or maybe they're just ecstatic to be alive. One thing is certain, they've faced their fears together. So, love may be a leap of faith, or in our case, a bungee jump. The takeaway? Full House drama can't compete with love that's a literal plunge. And here they are, Jesse and Becky, taking the plunge together. Because nothing strengthens a marriage like a shared trauma. Now that's what I call falling. In a twist as tangled as a Full House episode, we see 3 go-getter girls, DJ, Stephanie, and Michelle, make a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. 2 golden tickets to the fully booked Counting Crows concert. Believe your ears, folks, 2 tickets for 3 girls. Seems like life enjoys throwing a wrench in our stories, doesn't it? So, how do they solve this golden ticket dilemma? Enter their version of Russian roulette. Licorice roulette. Life can be as harsh as being given a losing hand in poker, as Stephanie soon learns when she draws the shortest licorice stick and misses out on her favorite band. But her DJ and Stephanie, not ready to back down, concoct an elaborate scheme to convince little Michelle to give up her golden ticket. Their plan involves a fabricated illness, complete with all the theatrics hoping to deceive Michelle, but let's be real, even a kindergartner can spot a bluff. Michelle isn't fooled by their tall tale. That is, until Stephanie pulls out her ace up the sleeve, the origin of the disease's name. The distance they'd travel for a concert ticket is as perplexing as deciphering the rules of licorice roulette. But the tale doesn't conclude on a sour note. They learn the true value of friendship and compromise. Michelle gifts her ticket to Stephanie, not because she's convinced by their story, unity over a night of music. Now, that's how you handle a situation like Michelle's. What's the takeaway for the day? Life can be as unpredictable as a game of licorice roulette, and basing your decisions on such uncertainty can fill your life with a full house of complications. Now that's what we call sweet tension. 1. Initially, Michelle's intense eagerness to attend the Counting Crows concert seemed to revolve around the thrilling music, the energy of the crowd, and the complex name of the band. However, the reality is much simpler and more heartfelt. Our beloved Michelle is yearning for something that all children universally seek: the chance to join in the fun that her older sisters are experiencing without her. It's a classic case of the youngest sibling syndrome, set against the backdrop of a thrilling rock concert. Because, after all, a rock concert is the epitome of childhood. Isn't it? Isn't it too? The plot takes a comedic twist when DJ and Stephanie, in a hopeless and misguided attempt, hatch a scheme to cheat Michelle out of her concert ticket. Ah, the bliss of being the older sibling deceived by the notion of outsmarting the younger ones. However, fate has its own humorous way of messing things up, and their crafty scheme backfires in a spectacular fashion, plunging them into the awkward position of being the guilty party, because children are often more astute than they're given credit for. 3. As guilt and surprise take center stage in this comedy of mishaps, DJ and Stephanie come to the shocking realization that they've been the villains all along. Irony piles upon irony, as thick as the storyline of a daytime melodrama. The focus isn't just on the concert, but also on the bond of sisterhood, the ties that hold us together. And remember, guilt trips are quite effective, folks. Such a comedic chaos that even Shakespeare would find entertaining. Propelled by their guilt-ridden consciences, they eventually let Michelle go to the concert with DJ. However, in a charming plot twist, Michelle returns the ticket to Stephanie. The moment is a masterfully orchestrated mix of sincere emotion and comedy. And here's the grand finale where a rock concert turns into a family movie, because nothing says sisterly love like a failed scam and a guilt trip. Now that's what I call a rockin' resolution. So what lesson can we draw from today's tale? That guilt is a mighty weapon in rock concerts, well, they're somewhat overrated. They say Full House is as heartwarming as a guilt trip over concert tickets. So you might depart feeling guilty, but at least you'll be wearing a grin.